Okay, are we okay now? Are we online? All right. Good morning. The President Park is not here today, and I'm going to be conducting the business of the board today. I'm Reza Karimi, and welcome to the meeting today. This is the regular open meeting of the Third Laguna Hill Mutual Board of Directors, California Nonprofit Mutual Benefit Corporation. This Tuesday, May 24, 2025, 9:30 a.m. Laguna Woods Village Community Center boardroom. We are virtual also, available on TV 6. And I call the meeting to order. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance with Director Parson. Please stand.
Say it my way.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'm going to... do we have media available? Okay. I request approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Any changes or comments on the agenda? None? Approved. Approval of the minutes of April 9th, April 15th, and May 2nd. I'm going to do that all together. Is there any motion to approve it? Ruth, correct. Any changes? Discussion? If none, is approved. Report of the chair. Since SK is not here, I'm just going to talk about that our financial season started. We are doing the planning for the next budget. I encourage all of our members to stay tuned and participate. Our goal is to bring some stability into our financial year-to-year rollout, so we can do more predictable rather than being at the at the mercy of what's happening every time. This year is going to be higher, lower. We're going to see if it brings some level of stability in rate increases, in in the services and all of that. So we have the member knows year over year what to expect, and that's going to be very. It's not an easy job, but I think we have staff working with us, and the board is working hard in order to bring some predictability and stability in our financial as we go forward for 2026 and beyond. With that, I go to the open forum. On the open forum, at this time, members only may address the board of directors regarding the items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of the board of directors. The board reserves the right to limit the total amount of time allotted for the open forum to 30 minutes. A member may speak once during the forum. A speaker may not give their time to other people. No audio, video, recording by attendees, and no rude or threatening comments or calling names or using names of other people. Members can attend the meeting by joining Zoom, and there is also a telephone number that you can attend. On the open forum, do we have speakers? Michaela?
Yes, we have 4. The first is Chris Collins.
Okay.
Good morning. Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here with an update on the work of the foundation that we do on behalf of residents that are experiencing temporary financial crisis. This one is about planning for the unpredictable. The fires in LA were a wake-up call, yet that does not mean that we can ignore the threat of wildfires, even though the the weather has changed a bit. The foundation of Laguna Woods Village is partnering with VMS to help residents prepare for that possibility of wildfires and other emergencies. So there's a series of televised interviews, and it's called Planning for the Unpredictable, and they're going to focus on various aspects of emergency preparedness. Like many of you, the foundation board was very concerned after the wildfires and wondering how it could impact Laguna Woods Village, and so we wanted to know what we should do to prepare. So the first of this series was with Eric Nunez, who's the village director of security, and these broadcasts air on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. and then again on Saturday at 12. That happens started in April, and so these interviews also can be accessed on the foundation's website if you care to look at them if you don't see them on Village TV. And on the website, it's under a special tab called Disaster Preparation. So Chief Nunez discussed preparations that are being made in the village, and he talked about the relationship with the Orange County Fire Authority and the sheriff during emergencies, and what to expect if evacuation is required, and steps that you can take to protect yourself. This series is part of a public education partnership of the foundation with VMS, which will also include media releases, public services announcements, and an emergency preparedness brochure. Topics covered will include, among others, the importance of having a go bag, assessing the alert systems, and how to use your smartphone to help in an emergency. So in May, there's been a broadcast that was from the public information officer with Orange County Fire Authority. And as we've discovered, really, the Orange County Fire Authority, they're the ones that really, they determine what we do. So if you have any questions about planning for the unpredictable, please contact the foundation at our email address, which is foundation@comline.com, or you can find us on our website, which is the foundation of lagunawoodsvillage.org. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Robert Stace.
Good morning, Board. My name is Robert Stace. I'm at 2381 via Mariposa West, Unit 3D. I'm co-building captain. I'm sorry to come before you. My husband, who's sitting there, is 100% disabled and a stroke victim, was viciously attacked by a neighbor in the elevator, slammed against the back wall, and then continued to go down the elevator and verbally assaulted him, got him into the garage, in the wheelchair, stuck cardboard boxes under the deal, shook him in the chair, and then struck him with her car and took off. And I called the police, the Orange County. In the packet, you'll see the person, you'll see the police report, you'll see the other incidents. This person has attacked several residents in the building on more than one occasion. She's vicious. She's mentally unstable, in my opinion. She has anger issues. So we can't enjoy the building now. I have to take him to the elevator and down the elevator because he's afraid to go in there by himself. He's afraid to go downstairs and sit out front by himself. So severe to the point that I've had to hire a psychiatrist for anxiety and depression. He doesn't deserve this. He's 56 years old. He suffered a stroke. He's done nothing wrong. And yet, we can't enjoy it. We don't know what this person's going to do in the building. She's dangerous. And the board has got to do something to get her out of here. I gave you packets of everything that occurred. She's attacked other residents. She attacked the building captain. She claimed the building captain and her brother were walking the walkway, were looking into her unit. She barged into her unit, screaming at him. The brother won't come down from Los Angeles now because he's afraid of her. This is not decency. I'm a kind person. I'm co-building captain. I'm a kind person. I don't bother anybody. He doesn't bother anybody. You just want to live. But I can't have someone that we don't know what they're going to do. I don't trust her. The anger is just livid. So I implore you to take emergency action to get to the owner of her unit and get her out of here. She's dangerous. Thank you for your consideration. I really, as you can see, he's disabled.
We understand. We understand. We are very sorry for what has happened. And this board and this community will do everything in their power to help in according to the law.
I understand.
What we are permitted to do. And as I said, I'm glad that you have a OC sheriff police report because
Yes.
that restraining order and all of
I
that
included
gonna
that in the packet.
help us to, to take action on this matter. But, we do everything in our power, as I said, under the law to do this. But, there are restrictions that we are under. You should understand that. It might not be immediate, but I promise you that we take these things very, very seriously.
Thank you for your consideration.
And I'm sorry that has happened. I apologize, that, you have to go through this. This is not something that any of our members should go through. Thank you.
Final speakers, Jules
We'll
Zala.
discuss that in close.
If you wait, tell him if he waits, he might get some response from VMS. Tell him. Mr. Robert, why don't you stay because you get some comments from the VMS after the please wait.
Is that
I'm
what-
sorry.
Okay?
Yeah, that's Captain.
Kennedy's here to talk to him.
Yeah. Okay.
They should go
Next
outside.
is Mr. Jules Zolan. We are very happy to have you at the
It's nice
podium.
to see you.
And tell us about good
Nice
things.
to have something different to talk about today. Jacques Brel was one of the seminal troubadours of the 20th century. He sold 25 million records in his too short career. One of the greatest off-Broadway musicals of all time was at the Village Gates presentation of Jacques Brel is Alive and Well and Living in Paris. It ran for 4 years at the Gate before moving to Broadway in 1972. The following year, Gila and I produced it at the posh West Side room of the Century Plaza Hotel. It received rave reviews. On Wednesday, May 28th, our theater group, the Old Pros, will present an original musical that traces the origins of this remarkable show. Written by Gila, it will feature 11 of the show's remarkable 26 songs. It took 2 full LPs to do an album for that. And just to give our members a taste of what's in store, here are most of the entire cast, minus our lead soprano, who is home sick, performing one of those songs, Russell.
Go for it.
Thank you. It was the time when Russell was king. It was the time of the silent movies. It was the time when Russell was king. It was the time when Brussels.
Pick out a hat so dashing and gay. Go for a walk, it's a beautiful day.
Put on your spats and your hard-button shoes. Get on the trim, get the gossip and news. Not a time for fighting. Not a time for fighting. There was my grandfather. There was my grandmother.
He was a young soldier and she was so much older.
He had no brains, neither did she. How bright could I turn out to be? Oh, it was a time when Brussels was king. It was a time of the silent movies. It was a time when Brussels would sing. It was a time when Brussels.
Pick up a song so dashing and gay. Go for a walk, it's a beautiful day.
Hop on the tram in high-button shoes and dance on the tram to gossip and news. Not a time for crying. How my heart was flying. There was my grandfather. There was my grandmother.
And guns were loaded and were what exploded.
It was such fun. It was a game. We fought the war, but climate in shame.
Oh, it was a time when Brussels was king. It was a time of the silent movies. It was a time when Brussels was king. It was a time when Brussels could sing. It was a time of the silent movies. It was a time when Brussels was king. It was a time when Brussels.
When is this going on? I mean,
Showtime at Clubhouse 7 will be at 7 o'clock on May 28th, a week from tomorrow. The doors open at 6:30. There will be free wine and nibbles. You'll be back home before 9 o'clock. Admission is free for members and $5 for non-members. I hope to see you all there, and I thank the board for allowing us to push this crass commercial.
That was great. We appreciate what you're doing for the community and as Old Pros, and this great show and great job. Thank you very much. Look forward to see you guys on this stage.
Anybody else?
Any comments from anybody?
No, is that the last?
I think that was the last one. Any comments from the members?
Yes, I would just like to know if we can find out if Patricia
Don't say the name.
Don't use the name.
Don't use the name.
if the individual that is attacking the other man is a renter or a owner.
We will provide details in closed
Yeah.
session.
Thank you.
Our security right now is talking in detail and, making sure that everything is documented. There is a OC police, sheriff report also. So we're going to take every action that we can under the law.
Yes.
Because we cannot just go at somebody's door and push the door open. That's not the way it works. But any other comments? Yes, Jim.
This is my second meeting of Mutual, and I'm just wondering if we're going to have entertainment every meeting?
Don't ask me, ask Jules.
It's a great way to begin.
Yeah. Okay. I'd rather see you that, Jules.
I got the message.
Okay. Good job. Any other comments? Okay. If not, the response to open forum is done. The response to past open forums, I have only one that was Ms. Madeline Whiteman requested for more communication and transparency from the board. An email was sent to Ms. Whiteman that provided her with the guide to village communication. The guide provides residents with the option to receive information they want and show them how to stay informed about the action of the board. So with that completes the items. Now we go, if no comments or anything up to here from the board, we go to CEO report.
Thank you, Honorable Vice President. That's a tough act to follow, but we'll try.
Don't sing it now.
You don't want me, please. So I'd like to share some key updates this morning, and I'm going to start with the high-speed fiber internet service project. As you all know, that this was approved recently by the corporate members, and GRF entered into a contract with Ting Internet. The project will bring a new high-speed fiber network to the village offering speeds of up to 2 gigabytes per second. This supports seamless connection for all household Wi-Fi devices and includes a DirecTV Stream partnership for enhanced TV options. There is going to be a strong focus on resident communication throughout the project so residents can stay abreast of what is happening and expect what they can expect in their neighborhoods. Construction begins on June 9th. Work kicks off in the southeast area near gates 1 through 4. Crews will be locating underground utility lines for safe installation, installing handhole boxes, these are fiber access points, and post and update signage in active construction zones. Signs will shift as work moves, keeping you informed during every step of the progress. Visit the address on the screen before you, which is internet.ting.com/ting-laguna-woods-village to understand how fiber internet works and why it's the fastest, most reliable choice. Learn what internet speed really means for your day-to-day online use. Get tips on routers, Wi-Fi frequencies, and boosting performance. Browse the frequently asked questions and share feedback on construction. And explore how Ting services are tailored to our community. Switching gears, I want to let everyone know that asbestos question and answers are now available. They address concerns that our residents shared with manor alterations in the city when the South Coast Air Quality Management District fell through on their plans to hold a town hall here in the community. So we solicited questions from our residents, and those answers are now available at the address shown on the screen before you. The information covers such items as asbestos surveys, Rule 1403, and much more. In recognition of Mental Health Awareness Month, we want to remind our residents that VMS Social Services Division is here to support resident independence and well-being by providing assessments of physical, emotional, and social needs, personalized referrals, care planning and emotional support, cognitive health screenings, and more. For these and other confidential services, please call Social Services at 949-597-4267. We also have some exciting news about the partnership between the Council on Aging and Social Services. The new social worker that is provided to our village at no charge by the Council of Aging has started. Her name is Jenna Bonventura, and she provides case management, emotional support, psychoeducation, and care coordination, focusing on isolated or at-risk residents facing health risks tied to social isolation. Excuse me. Switching gears to landscaping services. Landscaping Services has announced a new 30-day ticket closure policy. In this policy, no new tickets are open for areas that are already scheduled for work within 30 days. This prevents duplicate efforts and improves workload efficiency. Residents will be notified by email if their ticket is closed and the team is arriving within 2 weeks. Most importantly, there are very comprehensive maintenance schedules available on the village website at lagunawoodsvillage.com, services, landscaping calendar. You can take a look and see what services are planned for your manor. And then following the April 14th earthquake that was pretty strong here in the village, we've received questions about communications pertaining to our earthquake communication strategy. Our strategy focuses on preparedness and realistic expectations, clear, calm, and action-focused post-event messaging. It aligns with best public safety practices. And as a reminder, VMS does not issue real-time alerts during shaking. We do promote apps such as MyShake that can provide an early warning, and Alert OC for updates. We use Code Red only for post-event emergency follow-up. Following an earthquake, residents can expect, if there's minimal impact, to receive a brief update via email, website, TV6, and social media, confirming no damage or service interruptions. If there's a significant impact, multi-channel updates with key information such as gate closures, safety, and service changes will be provided. If there is an emergency, again, Code Red will be used for urgent, time-sensitive alerts to the community. As a reminder, the 2026 budget meetings are underway. This third board met yesterday to review the maintenance and construction portion of the budget. Third's next meeting is focusing on landscaping, and this will occur on June 2nd at 1:30 p.m. here in the boardroom. The full schedule is on the village website for anyone interested in the budget meetings. From Recreation, the 2026 reservation lottery is underway. This is the chance for residents to reserve 2026 dates at village facilities for club events and celebrations. Please pick up your lottery cards at the Recreation office or mail your request to recreation@vmsinc.org. Submit completed cards or requests by 5 p.m. on Monday, June 16th. Notifications of secured reservations will be sent by September 1st. I'm also providing a reminder that the annual termite fumigation program is underway. This runs May through November. The program targets drywood termites in inaccessible areas. There are 67 third buildings scheduled for this cycle. Temporary hotel stays are offered during tenting, and please check the village website, which has comprehensive information about the fumigation program. Lastly, concrete repair work is beginning and is scheduled for the following locations. The last two on the screen before you are located in Third Mutual, and this work will begin on Calle Azul on May 30th, and then Avenida del Sol on June 3rd. And that concludes my update this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Siobhan. Okay, let's start from this and go for the question. Go ahead.
Hi, Siobhan, could you cover how people can sign up for Code Red?
Sure.
And how the alerts work?
Thank you. Code Red is available. You can sign up on the icon on the village website. It's on every page. Just look for the red icon, obviously named Code Red, or they can come in here to the concierge desk and fill out a form and be registered that way. We use Code Red to send emergency messages. They can come to you via telephone, text message, or email, or all of the above, depending on the severity of the incident. We typically focus on village-wide communications, but if there is something focused in an area, we can also limit the communication to that specific area. Thank you.
Thank you. Peggy?
How do we determine if we're already on there, if we need to go on? I think I did that back when, but
Resident Services can assist you with that.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruth?
Yes. As far as the 30-day ticket closure policy, could you explain that in a little more detail?
Yes, what we found, we did a third-party review of landscaping services. It was just completed and the results were just shared. What we learned is that many of the tickets generated by residents occur very close to their regular service time. So we're taking people out of the field to go complete those tickets, whereas if we would leave them in the field, we would just get to their residences within a short period of time and could take care of the situation more efficiently that way. So if your service is scheduled far out, you'll still have the ability to submit a ticket, but otherwise, we're trying to become more efficient and get to your resident as soon as possible.
I have no questions, Siobhan. Thank you very much.
No question.
Jim? Okay. Thank you very much, Siobhan. Very good report. I appreciate that. Now we'll go to item 9, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are recommended for action by committee and will be enacted by the board by one motion.
I will move.
Well, let me finish the reading. In the event that an item is removed from the consent calendar by member of the board, such item shall be the subject of further discussion and action by the board. Is any item need to be taken out of the consent calendar by any member of the board? If none, then we'll look for a motion to do the consent calendar.
So moved.
Peggy moved, Ruth second. Any comment, question? All agree? Okay, it passed. We're done by that. Now we'll go to the item 10, unfinished business. Entertain motion to approve the revision to a standard 21 patio slab walkways and pavers. April initial notification of 28 days. Notification for the members' review and comments to comply with the Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. Mr. Secretary.
Okay, reading resolution 03-25-XX. Revised standard 21 for patio slabs, walkways, pavers, and driveways. Whereas the Third Laguna Hills Mutual recognizes the need to amend standards and create new standards as necessary, and whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revise Resolution 21 for patio slabs, walkways, and pavers. Now therefore be it resolved, May 20th, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts resolution and amendments to Standard 21 for patio slabs, walkways, pavers, and driveways as attached to the official meeting minutes, and resolve further that Resolution 03-24-18, adopted February 20th, 2024, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. The 28 days has been satisfied.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion about this item? All agree? Okay, this motion passed. All right. B, entertain the motion to approve the revision to unauthorized alteration fee, April initial notification, 28 days notification for members, review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. Mr. Secretary.
Okay, Resolution 03-25-XX, unauthorized alteration fee. Whereas the Mutual has seen an increase in unauthorized alterations, and whereas significant administrative staff time is necessary to investigate, document, and process unauthorized alteration incidents, and whereas in order to offset a portion of the administrative cost associated with the investigation, documentation, and processing of unauthorized alteration incident, the board adopted an unauthorized alteration fee. And whereas operational costs have increased since the time of inception. Now therefore be it resolved May 20th, 2025, that the Board of Directors hereby increase the unauthorized alteration fee for processing mutual consents after the fact to $400, effective June 1st, 2025, and resolve further, when it has been determined that a member has started or completed alterations without proper prior mutual consent and city permit, a stop work notice will be issued and the member will be scheduled for a disciplinary hearing before the board. And resolve further, the member will be directed to apply for mutual consent and shall pay the unauthorized alteration fee, which shall be in addition to the board-approved mutual consent processing fees. And resolve further, payment of the unauthorized alteration fee does not preclude the member from disciplinary action by the board. And resolve further, the Resolution 03-18-113, adopted July 17th, 2018, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. And as mentioned, the 28-day notification has been satisfied.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Any discussion, comment? Okay, Robert?
Yeah, I'd just like to make everybody aware so that it's clear that this $400 fee is only for the mutual consent application. It is not for any potential penalty that may also be invoked by the board through the disciplinary process. I just want to make sure that that's clear, that that 400 doesn't absolve the individual of any other responsibility as it relates to disciplinary action.
Any other comments? Okay, let's vote. Everyone say yes. I think it's passed. Item C, entertain a motion to approve amended rules for board meeting. April initial notification, 28 days notification for members' review and comments to comply with the Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. Mr. Secretary.
Resolution 03-25-XX, rules for board meetings. Whereas each owner/member of Laguna Woods Village has an ongoing interest and right under California law to participate in the governance of their community. And whereas the Board of Directors of the Third Laguna Hills Mutual has an equal interest and duty under law to ensure that the management of the community's affairs is carried out professionally and in adherence with the provisions of the Davis-Sterling Act. And whereas the Board of Directors updated the rules for board meetings to align with the dispute resolution meetings stated in the Davis-Sterling Act. Now therefore be it resolved, May 20th, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the attached revision rules for board meetings, and resolve further that Resolution 03-24-122, adopted October 15th, 2024, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. And as stated earlier, the 28-day notification has been satisfied.
Any motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Any comments? Okay, if all agree? Okay, unanimous. Number D, entertain motion to approve the amended Executive Hearing Committee Charter. April initial notification to an 8-day notification for members' review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. Mr. Secretary.
Yes, revision 03-25-XX. Executive Hearings Committee Charter, amended May 20th, 2025. Whereas the Third Laguna Hills Mutual, or Third Board of Directors, being the board, recognizes the need to address disciplinary matters with adequate time to review and enforce Third's governing documents each month. And whereas that pursuant to bylaws, Article 7, Section 7.1, the board determined to establish the Executive Hearings Committee as a standing committee of this corporation for the purpose of hearing disciplinary hearing matters, as well as for determining responsibilities for damage reimbursement situations. Now therefore be it resolved, May 20th, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby amends the members and responsibilities information for the committee as follows. Number 1, the board shall appoint either the board president or the board first vice president as the committee chair. Number 2, the committee shall consist of 3 board members or directors and 2 alternate board directors, and will be voting members appointed by the board upon the recommendation of the committee chair. Sub 3, a committee member absent from 3 consecutive regularly scheduled meetings shall no longer qualify for the committee unless excused by the chair. Sub 4, this committee shall serve at the direction and at the pleasure of the board. In paragraph 2, under responsibilities, the primary responsibility of the committee is to recommend general and specific actions related to the governing documents for the board's approval and implementation, including but not limited to the following. Number 1, the committee shall, pursuant to bylaws Article 4, Section 4.5, hold disciplinary hearings on matters submitted to the committee by the Compliance Division. Number 2, the committee may, pursuant to bylaws Article 4, Section 4.5.2, take disciplinary action against any member, qualifying resident, co-occupant, tenant, and their guest for breach of the bylaws, CC&Rs, and other governing documents. Number 3, the committee shall have full autonomy for the purpose of hearing and acting on disciplinary hearing cases. Number 4, the committee shall have full autonomy for the purpose of hearing and acting on common area damage reimbursement cases. Number 5, the committee shall serve as representatives of the board for the purpose of hearing and acting on meet and confers / internal dispute resolutions. Number 6, consult as appropriate and upon committee approval with third counsel. Number 7, function in accordance with the governing documents and federal, state, and local laws. Number 8, perform such additional functions as may be assigned or referred to the committee by the board's president, as well as those that are necessary and prudent to fulfill the committee's duties and responsibilities. And number 9, function as an advisory and a liaison body to the managing agent in matters pertaining to government document changes or implementation, and coordinate these matters with other standing committees having related concerns. Resolve further resolution 03-24-68 adopted June 28, 2024 is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to take such action as they deem appropriate to carry out the purpose of this resolution as written. And as mentioned earlier, the 28-day notification has been satisfied.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion, comment? That was a long resolution. Did you guys remember everything in there?
Well, I think it's just really to keep it in tune with the previous motion.
No, I'm giving some break to our secretary to be, to take a catch his break. So, no, it's all, everyone agrees? I mean, there's no comment? Okay. Now we go to number E, entertain a motion to approve amended pet policy. April initial notification, 28 days notification for member review and comment to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. Mr. Secretary.
Yes, revision 03-25-XX, pet policy. Whereas the Board of Directors of 3rd Laguna Hills Mutual recognize the need to amend the pet policy to set out the rules and regulations for the treatment and handling of pets within 3rd Laguna Hills Mutual. And whereas the Resident Policy and Compliance Committee received a request from the Garden Villa Association to include specific language for 3-story buildings to prohibit pet urination and defecation in common areas inside 3-story buildings and within 10 feet of the exterior of 3-story buildings. Now, therefore, be it resolved, May 20th, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the revised pet policy attached to the official minutes of this meeting and resolve further the resolution 03-25-24 adopted March 21st, 2023 is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. As mentioned, the 28-day notification has been satisfied.
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion, comments? Okay. Yes.
Question. What is the policy for the exterior for a non-garden villa building? Is it 10 feet?
We have the boss here. Well, Basilda.
Misunderstood the term boss.
There are many bosses. So
I prefer second in command. So, so the rule for units that are not garden villas or LH21s, there is no specific rule, but most people do just keep it to common area, which is grassy area, usually close to their buildings or on their walks through common area.
So I think everybody understands the interior.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how this impacts all the other buildings, and it's not a big deal. It's just not a.
So this is mainly for the 3-story building because on the second floor people go and the pets goes close to some people's door and defecate.
Got it.
That's what we're trying to mainly design for the 3-story building as is specified.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I don't think it's complicated anything with the other buildings.
It doesn't affect any other
Exactly. Thank you.
Welcome.
Now, Stuart, you want to say something about it too? Or you're happy? Okay. I think as long as 3-story building, you're happy, then it's okay. So I think voting for that, everyone agrees? Okay, passed. We go to the next one. Number F, entertain motion to rescind the directive to remove decorative architecture roundwood elements, Vegas, during the prior to paint program for the remaining building. March initial notification, revised May 28, 28 days notification for the members' review comment to comply with Civil Code 4330. Mr. Secretary.
Yes, Resolution 03-25-XX, decorative architectural roundwood elements, that being vigas. Whereas in September 2016, the Maintenance and Construction Committee directed staff to discontinue the replacement of the wood elements called vigas and infill with stucco as the mitigation solution for dry rot concerns during the prior to paint program. And whereas there has been an interest from members in the community in preserving and restoring the character-defining features of the building structures. And whereas on April 7th, 2025, the Maintenance and Construction Committee voted to recommend that the Board of Directors rescind the 2016 directive. Now therefore be it resolved on June 17th, 2025, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby rescinds the 2016 directive to remove the vigas during the prior to paint program. And resolve further, the Board of Directors hereby directs staff retain the remaining vigas as is or replace as needed with marine grade wood to maintain the architectural integrity of the buildings. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. And as stated before, this goes on 28-day notification.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, question? As I said, this is for the remaining vigas. The vigas that have been removed, they're removed and the building have been painted and there is no action on those. So everyone agrees? Then that passes. Now we go to number 11, new business. We're moving pretty quickly through the, there must be something wrong with me if I'm moving so quickly. New business, number 8, board to limit payments plan consideration to once per manner per owner. This is for oral discussion. And I think Robert want to talk about this.
Okay.
Well, I'm just guessing.
You're just guessing?
Yeah.
Okay. For the residents, this issue is that when we have someone who is in arrears and owes money for their monthly HOA payments, and they fall a certain period behind, they periodically come forward and ask about a payment plan. And we're certainly very willing to accommodate people and assist them with a payment plan. However, what we get is that at times people will request the payment plan, then they won't pay the payment plan, then they come back and request a different payment plan. And what happens is that people keep falling further and further behind, and eventually we have no choice but to lien that property. Well, when we go to lien that property, if they come forward and ask for a payment plan, that stops the lien process. And we have to then start that process over again each time. And we've had, in one case, somebody come forward 5 different times to slow up the whole process. So we're looking to shore that up by allowing members to have a single option to exercise their right to a payment plan, but it would only be once. And after that, they would automatically be denied if they either default on the payment plan or they come forward and request other payment plans.
Yeah, I just want to mention that, when these cases stays in circulation in the VMS, it consumes a lot of time of the staff, and it costs a lot of money and a lot of effort of the staff to take care of these things. We need really good cooperation for our members in order to move things, cases through faster, in order to save money also. because whatever, time and energy we spend on this, it translates to dollar, and dollar translates to assessment. Very simply. So these cases that drags on for over and over for several years, I saw that. It's going to cost us a lot of money to maintain them. And people do, as Robert said, some people unfortunately do play games with it, and we're trying to stop that and make sure that we have a procedure and people have avenues to take care of it at earliest stage rather than keep coming back and wasting everybody's time. So please, as members, cooperate with these procedures and help us to, reduce our costs and reduce, the backlog in our departments. Any other comments on this? Okay.
You have a comment?
Yeah, go ahead. Come on forward.
I just have a quick question.
Sure.
So is this consideration?
Please come to the microphone.
Okay. Could you tell us your name?
Hello, I'm Ro Kendall, 2400 1C, and I'm just wondering about this limit to the payment plan. Once per manor, per owner, is that one time and then somebody catches up and maybe 3 years later they have an issue again?
No, it's case by case. If you have a case and you set up a payment plan and you go with that, and then 5 years later you have another case, then that's a new case.
Okay, great.
It's not that, you did that for this case, you are not
Once.
allowed to do that on the
Okay.
other case. But you cannot do it with the same case 4 or 5 times. That's what we're
Understood.
talking about.
Thank you.
Is that agreeable, Robert? Because this is brainchild of Robert's.
We'll look at it in the policy committee
Yeah.
and discuss the
Yeah.
details of it.
He doesn't agree to, very easily, so we have to twist his arms. Okay, any other comments? Okay, what do we want to do with this?
No, it was just up for oral discussion.
For
Yeah,
the oral
just
discussion,
discuss.
we're going to take it back to the,
So the committee is going to.
it's going to take it back to the committee. Okay, that's good. It was quick discussion. Now we go to number B, entertain a motion to approve or deny the second request to postpone fumigation for building B3255. This is, we have a schedule for fumigating buildings. And we put them on the schedule, we informed the owners. This building, the owners came one time and said, that, I don't want to do it, we don't want to go out. But we cannot keep postponing it because it's not just one unit, it's the rest of the unit that are involved, and we have to take care of it. And we cannot let the building deteriorate. That's why I want to see if anybody want to make a motion to accept or deny.
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
Any second? Correct second? Any discussion?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, in the case of medical emergency, in the past, we've had the doctor sign a statement saying that they have a certain period of time to recover, or they're capable of moving into a different place while their place is being fumigated. Now, are we saying that this covers that situation?
Because it's already been moved once.
No. There is a medical letter from the doctor indicating that the person has a certain condition. But part of the requirement from the doctor, from us, our end, is that the doctor indicates when we expect the person to recover. That was not addressed at all. So all it was that the person has this situation and can't move now, but didn't address anything for when we could. And the problem becomes that there's an infestation of termites, and the damage continues, and unless we get there and fumigate the building, there's no other way for us to treat those termites. The external ones we can get to, but when they start to go inside, we can't reach them without the fumigation. That's the only way to deal with it.
Okay, I'm still a
To
little
answer
confused
your
on medical
question,
ones.
to answer your question, There was a medical request, that's why we postponed it, but we requested to see when we can do it, and we needed physician input, and there was none. So we don't know, and they're not responding. That's why we cannot just keep postponing things if they're not responding to us.
Okay, the first time around, they have an opportunity to get the
Yes.
medical
Yes.
input.
No, the
to it.
second time they had the opportunity to get the medical.
But
because
they didn't.
we did just automatic. The reason we postponed it the first time was that they claimed they did not have the 15-day notice. And that they only had 14 days' notice. And therefore, we had violated the requirement of the 15-day notice. So we said, okay, and we put it off till this year. We rescheduled it for this year. Now that it was rescheduled for this year, their claim is that the person can't move out. We said, okay, but please provide the medical evidence and also when the person, from a medical standpoint, will be able to vacate the unit. They provided a medical statement, but not anything with when the person could vacate.
Yeah, that is a correct, accurate statement. For those of you who don't know, I'm Adam Felice, the maintenance operations manager who oversees the fumigation process. Director Munchik's correct in his statement. Last year, we postponed it for them, and then this year they did bring us with the medical note for the second time around, and as per the policy for fumigation, it's required then to come to the board for a decision.
Okay. Go ahead. Tim.
Oh,
Go.
so am I correct in this has been going on for a year?
Yeah.
And affecting
Last year, we
obviously
didn't do it
other
last year.
people in the building?
This year, eventually the individual is still maybe a problem, but we don't know when that we can do this. And the question is, what is our options? Because if we have an issue in a unit, what kind of authorities we have to go and tent the building while individual is in the unit and they say they're, they have problem. We need to, I think this need to go to our meeting when talk to our attorneys, look at the avenues that we have if they're not responding to us. Just help me. I mean,
I would respectfully disagree.
Okay.
I think the procedure has been outlined. It now has to come before the board as a request. That request is here in front of us now.
Okay.
The people have met the requirements in terms of notification of these individuals. We have a responsibility to protect mutual property, not just for the people in that particular unit, but for the attached units as well. So this is a problem that is just going to be exacerbated and wind up costing the residents overall even more money if we don't get in there and fumigate, because eventually there's going to be damage that has to be repaired at the cost of the mutual, since it's mutual property.
In concert with what Reza was saying, if we go forward with this, and if they do not communicate with us, what is our alternative?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to understand.
There is a policy in place. So say with the fumigation scheduled, and we get there and they say, hey, we're not going to vacate. At that instance, then the mutual has the right to be able to charge them for the cancellation of that fumigation and the services that were provided. The mutual has a responsibility to protect the structure. What we found in these instances is that once you see them on the exterior, they're going to be in inaccessible areas. And since we don't perform destructive investigations in these instances, we know that they're there because when we get there for our prior to paint program or any off-program work and we start opening walls, we see these. The longer we delay the fumigation for these buildings, the more damage that occurs, which in turn charges to the mutual, which responds down to the members.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I understand what you're saying in that respect, but what if the person in that building refuses to leave? What is our alternative?
Our alternative is to charge them for the cancellation of the fumigation.
But that doesn't fix it for the other residents.
No, it doesn't.
I can't speak to the legal aspect of what would happen in that instance. That would have to go back to your legal counsel.
Yeah, that's what my initial. Go ahead, Rob.
I'd like to amend my motion in terms of denial. I still would like to deny the request but I want the member also informed now that if they don't vacate when the schedule takes place, that they will be charged for the cost of ending the fumigation at that point in time, and then other possible action, disciplinary action will be taken against them.
Any second to the amended motion?
I'll second.
Any discussion about the, yes?
Just one other thing, I would suggest that we also explore what legal remedies we have. It's not necessarily related to
Right.
this particular issue, but seems to be rare. I can't imagine it happening, but it happens, and so we need to understand what legal options would we have should this happen when somebody absolutely refuses to do it.
Yeah, we have to separate that, because this, we have to take action on this to inform them that if they don't, I agree, I agree with, the amended motion, that we tell them that there are going to be penalties and disciplinary actions, or building is in danger or, deterioration. And, the second track is that we have to see for the future, what is our legal avenues that we can take if there are persistent issue. Yes, sir. Steve.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, don't we tint the garden villa
We
buildings
do.
also?
We do.
It seems to me like about 4 or 5 years ago, we had one tenant in one of those buildings refuse to move. And that causes a huge problem.
Yeah.
If they don't, because now they're affecting 15, 18, 20 other people.
20.
Yeah.
And if I may too, this isn't a rare occurrence. We do encounter this a lot, where we do have instances of them providing, the doctor's notes, and we always ask them, hey, can you provide us with a date included in that doctor's note so we know when to reschedule it. As you guys know, we increased the budget for 2025 to catch up on the backlog. So as you can imagine, we have seen more and more requests. There actually are 2 other requests that are pending, where they haven't provided us the doctor's notes yet. So this occurrence may be occurring more. So it would be supported by staff. I believe we could get some direction on the back end in understanding how to handle these in the future so we can communicate it properly to the members.
Now we have the original motion that is amended. You withdraw the original motion?
No, you don't have to. We amended the motion.
You amended your motion yourself?
Right.
Okay. And seconded?
I second it.
Yeah. Do we vote on that?
Yes.
Also, yes. Okay, we move forward. But again, at the same time, I think we need to add to the policy and procedure about this issue.
But Adam, I would like to just reinforce that we inform the person, now that with the denial, we inform them of the issue of payment and things of that nature if they don't vacate, so that they know that as early as possible.
Correct, and we do usually tell that to them when we get members all the way up until sometimes the day of, and we let them know that if they don't vacate, then by then they're going to be charged for the cancellation. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I think we moved pretty quickly. We are on item 12. I know you guys are very tired. Do you want to take 5 minutes or you want to continue? That's what I'm asking.
How's about a bathroom break?
A what?
A bathroom break.
You want to take a bathroom break?
Bathroom break.
Okay. We take, it's 10:33. We'll be back at 10:40.
7 minutes?
7 minutes, because
8 minutes.
you usually take longer. Hello again. We are back from our break. We're going to start with item number 12 on our agenda, which is the third mutual committee report. And number 12A is the Finance Committee, Director Howard Fox. Would you entertain us with the financial?
Entertain you, sure.
Sure.
Okay, this is the report of the Finance Committee, meeting held on May 6th, 2025. And the highlights are these. Screen number 1, we have our the summary of our income and total expense, actual versus budget, and we are showing a positive variance of $971,000, which sounds really great, except that a lot of it is timing differences that will kind of even out over the course of the year. Screen number 2, if we can go ahead here. Here are some selected expenses and how we are doing comparing actual to budget. The outside services, favorable by $586,000, and that is primarily because we have moved to in-house labor, so we're using less outside services for some of our services in landscape and maintenance and construction, and it's also the timing of the work for the plumbing replacements. Employee compensation and related, $218,000 a positive variance. This is because we have some open positions, and we're in process trying to fill those positions right now. So temporarily, we are at a positive. Uncollectible accounts, $121,000 to the better. Just the timing of the delinquency write-offs and delinquent accounts through the period, which again is a timing issue. Investment income, favorable $103,000. We're getting a slightly better return on our investments, 4.13%, as opposed to a budget of 4%. And we have a little bit more in investments than we had anticipated. And finally, we have the utilities and telephone. We're a negative $105,000 because electricity rates are higher, and we've been using too much water through the month of March. Then we go to slide number 3, if there's no questions. Good to see. Okay, slide number 3 on this pie chart. Let's see, what do I want to say about this? It's our non-assessment revenues earned to date of $816,000. The largest portion looks to be the investment income, followed by chargeable services, and then various and sundry other things here. Nothing unusual that stands out here. So unless there's some comment, then we can go to slide number 4. Slide 4, let's see. Expenses to date, $10 million for the first quarter ending March. The largest categories, of course, as always, would be the employee related, then insurance, which is always a big number, utilities and outside services, followed by a bunch of smaller items. That is slide number 4.
You're doing great, Howard.
Yeah, gee, thanks. Okay, slide 5. Slide 5, what do we got here? A summary of the operating income statement through March. What do I want to see here? Just, we have an operating surplus for 3 months of $874,000. Again, it's timing. We're not making that much, so it'll kind of even out over the course of the year. let's see, we've got assessment revenues of 7.9 million, non-assessment revenues of 400,000. So total revenues are 8,385,000 for the 3 months. Our total expenses are 7,511,000. And that brings us to our operating surplus for the 3 months of $874,000. And next we got slide number 6. And this shows the various non-operating funds where we started on January 1st, where we are now on March 31. Over the course of the 3 months, our fund balances rose from 35 million at the beginning to 3 months later, 36,373,000. That was as a result of contributions, interest, and fund transfers coming in of 3,852,000, and expenditures going out of 2,494,000, giving us that 1.35 million increase. And then we go to slide number 7. And here's just a bar chart of the how our fund balances have grown through the last several years, and it's heading in the proper direction, I suppose. We're up to 36 million as detailed on the previous chart. And slide number 8. Slide number 8. This shows month-by-month resales of our properties, and as you can see at the very top of the screen, our sales are up significantly year over year, this year to last year, and the average resale price has gone up. Although I might note that recently we've been looking in the paper, and it seems to be that there's a general softening of the price of the homes right now.
We are still a good buy. We are still a good buy in the community.
A good buy, right. It's still a great value for the money. I mean, it's a terrific area, and it's Orange County is a great place to be, and it's worth every penny. So, and other than
that's why
that,
you're
there's
here.
no more slides.
Well, next meeting?
Right, so that concludes my report, and if there are no questions, then the next meeting is June 3rd, 2025 at 1:30 in the boardroom.
Great. Thank you for the entertaining.
Whatever I could do to help.
presentation. Thank you, Howard. The other one is the report of Architect Control and Standard Committee. Director Moon is not here, and Director Muchnick agreed to give a report.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson Karimi. Monday, the committee met Monday, April 7th, 9:30, here in the boardroom. And Dr. Moon called the meeting to order, and we addressed a couple of variances. One variance was approved related to interior structural modifications to remove walls. A second variance was denied. That variance was for an addition on exclusive use common property and a front entry, and that was denied. There were 2 items for discussion and consideration. Both of those items were approved, and they were discussed and approved this morning. The first one was the revision to Standard 21, patio slabs and walkways and pavers. And the second one was the revision to the unauthorized authorization fee. Again, both of those had been approved today. The next meeting of the Architectural Controls and Standard Committee is scheduled for June 5th, 1:30 p.m., right here in the boardroom.
Thank you, Director Muchnick. And number C, maintenance and construction, Director Muchnick.
Okay.
You might want to keep continuing.
All righty. This committee met on, just a second, I got the wrong page. Met on Monday, May 5th, 1:30 in the afternoon, and we had a presentation from a roofing vendor about a new style of roofing. It is a foam, it's designed for flat roofing, and it was an interesting presentation, and we got to discuss the kinds of things, and we're talking with our M&C people about whether or not it makes sense for us to consider that. We also were expecting the Garden Villa parking garage seepage study, which we finally received. Cardozo Associates was present to walk us through their interpretation, explanation of it. I guess, to be very honest and straightforward with you, Cardozo did what was asked in terms of the scope of work, but the reality is that most of the board feels that the scope of work was actually much too narrow for the kinds of things that we were really concerned about. However, they did address the issue of water in the breezeway and how that water seeps down, and they provided two options for how to address those issues. One of the options includes removing planters from the breezeway. Another aspect of the proposal included adding what they called screed weep, what are they? I forget what they're called, weep screeds, that's what they're called, to the buildings to prevent the water from going up the stucco and rotting out the stucco and causing interior rot. The board heard and asked questions about the proposals, and it's gone back now to the committee for consideration of how we're going to address those issues. And that basically covers what we did with the M&C committee, and the M&C committee will meet again next July 7th at 1:30 here in the boardroom.
Yeah, in addition to that, I think that report also was released to the Garden Villas Board of Directors. They're going to look at it. They're going to give some comments from that report back to the, M&C committee to see how the Garden Villas feel about the report and the things that they discussed in that report. So we look forward to hear from the Garden Villas Board of Directors also that what they think about the report and their actions. Because we need their help on understanding what works for them, what doesn't work for them, what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, because that's where they live. People live in the areas. We need to have their opinion, not just the opinion on a few people. The next item is a report on the Landscape Committee. Director Park is not here. I'm going to just go quickly over the report. The Landscape Committee met on May 1st, 2025. They reviewed the project log, the tree work status report, and some of the scheduled trimming requests and landscaping alteration requests. Also, they look at the cost what the cost of additional landscape cycle is, and overgrowth at the villas, and quarterly KPI update. And the next meeting is scheduled for June 5th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom. Next item is report of the Water Conservation Committee. Director Johnson.
Yes, the Water Committee met on April 24th. It's the first meeting as a full committee. It was previously a subcommittee, so we have had openings for additional directors to join the meeting. A presentation was made by Director Sostak regarding the savings that we've incurred over the past few years, and this is being updated. Of note is the fact that we're saving a lot of water residentially, but it's starting to increase again. So we're looking for ideas from the community on better ways to save and encourage people to save water. As an aside, there's a El Toro Water District advisory meeting quarterly, and both of us attended it. Aside from the fact that you get a really nice sandwich, it was very interesting. And one of the points that they made, which the community should know, is that when there's a major problem with water, people call the fire department. And the water district has a 24-hour emergency line, and they recommend that we need to get the word out to contact them, because the fire department doesn't have the skills to handle the water district equipment, and they end up doing some damage. So we need to make people aware of that. I was not aware of that myself. But they said, if somebody hits a fire hydrant, something like that, don't call the fire department. They said, call them. It's a 24-hour line, so we'll get that information out to everyone. So the next meeting will be held July the 31st at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Thank you, Director Johnson. Report of the Residence Policy and Compliance Committee, Director Muchnick.
Okay, the Resident Policy and Compliance Committee met on Tuesday, April 22nd at 9:30 in the morning. We had, for discussion purposes, Jeff Spees, who's the Community Service Manager, presented us with information on a policy that United currently has. And the policy relates to if an individual owns a unit and they are intending to sell that unit and they want to purchase another unit in the interim before they actually sell their first unit, that there is a financial qualification waiver that United uses. And it was asked if we would consider that same kind of financial qualification waiver. So there was discussion. The committee at this point elected to take no action. I'm sure it'll come back up for discussion again, but at this point, we didn't feel that it was something that we needed to address. Also, we discussed the issue of the alteration of exclusive use common area. This has been something that the committee has been looking into for the last couple of meetings. We are going to continue talking about this. We have made no decisions on it in terms of how much of your exclusive use common area. Let's say you have a courtyard and you want to extend your unit into that courtyard. How much of that courtyard should you be able to extend your unit into in terms of taking up that all of that exclusive use common area? Should you be allowed to go into the garage? And if so, how far into the garage? Okay, things of that nature are being discussed in terms of exclusive use common area. We also addressed the issue of the unauthorized alteration fine or penalty. Remember, we talked earlier today, we passed the motion for $400 for the mutual consent for an unpermitted alteration. This is now the fine issue as it relates to it. That is still under discussion. We are actually looking at the fines as it relates to all of the different kinds of things here in the village that the third is experiencing, and we're going to update all of that probably at the next meeting. And the next meeting of the Resident Policy Committee is May 28th, 9:30 here in the boardroom. And obviously, if we approve any alterations or suggestions regarding the fines, that'll come before the full board.
Thank you, Director Muchnick. Now we'll go to item 13, GRF Committee highlights. A is the GRF Community Activity Committee report by Director Muchnick.
Okay, we met on April 10th, and there were some donations that we received. We received and accepted a donation for a misting system for the Lawn Bowling Club, and we also looked at capital plan proposals. And we rejected the idea of what's called a CNC router. It's a router that cuts metal and makes designs like the sign behind us that says Laguna Woods and the symbol. There doesn't really seem to be a need for that, so we took that out of the capital list. The other big thing that we spent most of the time on was the policy for recreation. And we are still, this was the second time, and next month will be the third time that we will probably be discussing the definition of what is a fundraiser and how many fundraisers are allowed. And this is something related to both what the recreation department does and what the clubs are doing, because there has been, in the last couple of years, a proliferation of events at the PAC, and where clubs and the recreation department used to sell out most of their seats for the shows. Because of the now large number of shows that are now taking place, clubs and the rec department are experiencing a real drop-off in the number of sales of tickets. So we're looking to see if it doesn't make any sense to put in place some definitions that will help to control some of that, or should it just be something that the marketplace determines, and those clubs that can't sell enough tickets, they'll just stop doing the events. We don't have an answer to that at this point, but that'll be discussed again at the next meeting of the Community Activities Committee. That's the big issue. And the next meeting is June 12th at 1:30 here in the boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muchnick. Report of the Laguna Woods Village traffic hearing. Mr. Park is not here. Anybody was in that? Okay. Then all I can say, the next meeting of that is May 21 at 9 a.m. in the boardroom. No report. Item C, Disaster Preparedness Task Force, Director Parson.
Yes, the last meeting was actually held on April 16th, 2025, and I believe that was covered at the last board meeting. I do want to bring up that there was some disaster preparedness training last Friday, the 16th of May. A lot of discussion was talked about on the Jacob Green study, the gap analysis on what we should be doing as Laguna Woods Village, as well as what the city is responsible for. So that's an ongoing discussion. There are remnants of the disaster preparedness team that's still in place. The coordinator for Clubhouse 3 and Clubhouse 4, both of those are up and active. There'll be more meetings coming for coordinators, I'm sure. And the next meeting will be on May 27th, 2025, 9:30 here in the boardroom.
Thank you, Director Parson. GRF Maintenance and Construction Committee, Director Parson.
Copy.
Okay. It's okay if there is no report.
The last meeting was on April 9th.
Yeah.
And
it's been reported previously, eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next meeting is July 11th at 9:30.
Okay. GRF Finance Committee, Director Donna is not here. Director Fox, do you have any report on that or not?
Report. Let's see. We met, we talked. Let's see. The only thing of substance is that we approved a fee, I believe, I don't know the exact amount for the Performing Arts Center.
Oh, okay.
On every ticket sale is like a $2 fee now on each sale, just to cover costs. Other than that, there was really nothing other than accepting the year-end audit and the March financials.
Okay. Thank you, Director Fox. GRF Mobility and Vehicle Committee, Director Johnson.
Yes, this meeting was held on May the 7th. The primary topic was approval of 3 e-vehicles for the maintenance department, and these are replacement vehicles. There was a budget of about $260,000 for these vehicles, but because they had, I guess, an excess of these particular models, they had an opportunity to purchase them at about $100,000 less. So the board approved that investment, but instructed Mr. Carroll to look outside to see if he could get even better bids. The next meeting will be August the 6th at 1:30 in the boardroom.
Okay, thank you. Sure, go ahead.
Separate from that meeting, I met with Director Gomez in charge of maintenance and construction, if I can say that, about these three vehicles, and he informed me that the average age of these was about 22 years, and they definitely needed upgrades. They had rusting going on and things like that. And so I said, with the new vehicles, what's going to happen with them? And he said they're going to be built out on the inside to carry bench stock and things like that, so they don't have to keep coming back to get resupplied to go to a new ticket. And is there anything you want to add to that?
That's currently done with the vehicles today, but it's going to be a more robust configuration. So smaller vehicle, but more robust configuration, and it will eliminate or reduce any trips that would have to be made to the warehouse.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought that was very informative.
Thank you. Thank you for the report. Number G, GRF Landscape Committee, Director Parks not here, and I don't think anybody have that report. The next meeting for that is August 13, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Number H, Space Planning Ad Hoc Committee, Director Muchnick.
The Space Planning Ad Hoc Committee last met on March 24th. There has been no scheduled additional meeting at this moment in time.
Do you want to tell them about an idea you had?
No.
Since when? Don't you want to tell us?
No, it's not up for discussion at this point.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you. Item I, Information Technology Advisory Committee, Director Park is not here. The next meeting is May 30, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. is virtual. J, GRF Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, Director Muchnick.
Okay, I would have something to say, except that in the CEO's report earlier today, she discussed all about the broadband, when it's coming, when construction is starting. Gates 1 through 4 will be where they begin. Construction starts June 9th. I don't want to repeat everything she said, but she basically stole the thunder for what I was going to report from the Broadband Committee. The last meeting was April 21st, and we expect to have another meeting relatively soon.
Okay. Anybody? Go ahead.
One question
Sure.
on that work. What's the timetable? Like how many years is it?
18 months.
18 months.
18 months is the expected completion date.
Yeah. And I think we are trying to be firm on that because of the West Coast internet and all of that.
Right,
so
transfer
we're
over.
trying to stay firm. Okay. K, GRF Security and Community Access Committee, Director Wayne.
The committee last met on April 23rd, and the next meeting is June 25th at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom and as virtual meeting.
Okay.
Other than that, there's no report.
Thank you. All right. Future item agenda. We have only one. Rescind the directive to remove decorative. I think we already took care of that in our resolution. Any item for future agenda? Anybody have anything? If not, think about it till the next agenda prep. Now we go to number 15, Director's Comment. I start from our Secretary, Mr. Director Parson. No comment? Director Muchnick.
I can't believe it's 11:11, and even with about a 10-minute break, we're pretty much finished with business. This is kind of a record. Thank you.
Tip Peggy.
Well done.
Ruth.
No more comment.
Craig.
No further comment.
Director Howard.
Director Muchnick, this is great.
Jim?
Yesterday.
Nan?
Yes.
Carlos? Anything? Michaela?
No comments, thank you.
Now we have time. Anybody out there that want to say something? Well, thank you for your attendance. It was a great meeting. Although, we finished early, that doesn't mean that we didn't have any items on there. We had a lot of resolutions, and we took care of them. I want to thank everyone. I go ahead and recess this meeting, and we will meet.
Do you want to meet around noon For closed session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. We have.
I'm a resident of 5309.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought that we have the review for the variance that we requested. So it's gonna be go over or is it on the list?
This is with the outside issues, with the variance that you guys.
Yes, I mean, I request the window size of revision.
No,
No.
that has to go
Yeah.
to the architectural
Yeah.
committee.
Oh.
The architectural committee, when I gave the report, I said there were 2 variances, one was approved, one was denied.
Right.
That's the architectural committee, they make the decision at that level, not this board.
Oh, I see. When is it gonna be?
The next meeting of the architectural committee, just 1 second, I'll put that away. Somebody have it? I don't have it in order.
ACSC.
Architect control and standard, next meeting is June 5th.
1:30. June 5th, 1:30 here in the boardroom.
I submitted the application last March 7th.
Last March.
Yes, it's supposed to be in May this month.
Then the committee,
So,
Sir, I can get together with you. I'll get your information and make sure that we have you dialed in on the right date. So
Okay.
give me a few minutes.
thank you.
All right, so we go to recess and we will meet at 11:50
Okay.
and upstairs. Okay? We are in recess.
sorry you waited all this time.
Yep.
If we had any knowledge, we would.